Hello and welcome to another episode of Community Connections airing on OROMIA11. I am your host, Anna Orr, and today we are talking to the co-founders of Pamoja Women. They are doing a lot of amazing work in their community in Rochester, uplifting and empowering the amazing East African community that is represented out there. We're going to talk about food, we're going to talk about community building, and so much more. This is going to be a powerful episode, and I hope you stay tuned. Ladies, I am so excited to have you both joining me as the co-founders of Pamoja Women. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers and talk to them a little bit about the program?
Hi everyone. My name is Fatma Ahmed and I'm one of the co-founders of Pamoja Women.
And I'm Khadija Ali, the other co-founder of Pamoja Women.
Can you both kind of take a little bit of time and introduce what the name actually Pamoja Women means and what it represents culturally for you?
So Pamoja Women means, it's a Swahili word, means that it means united. We chose that word because we were to stick everyone together, unite together women so that we can become one instead of going against each other.
Yeah, our mission of Pamoja Women was to liberate and empower women and girls of East African heritage. And we intended to do this by having that platform to address issues and concerns and create interest among the East African women.
Now, Pamoja Women is taking place in Rochester, Minnesota currently. Is that right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the services or what you wanted to offer the East African community in Rochester.
So initially when we started Pamoja Women, our thought was always to have a space where women can just come in and be themselves, have a spot that represents them, that we know that whatever issues we have in the community, you can go somewhere and know that, oh, you understand me, and then you can just help me with that issue. And we just decided to run more programs with that.
And we basically focused on their interest. When we gathered the women together at our site, we said that, what do you want to see? What changes do you want Rochester to have or to happen within the East African communities? And a lot of the answers and feedbacks we got was that we needed more women's health programming within the East African. People were getting health education from different places, but they needed to understand it in their own native language. So we started having women's health programs by partnering up with the big hospitals here, Mayo and Olmsted. And then from there on, more programs started being born, like Sister Circle, where is basically, it's a unique for the women, and they come together and then they just share all their issues, problems that they're facing outside, be it at with the school district, be it at a health, be it at just in the community itself. So from there on, we started doing women's health, Sister Circle, and then we just started doing education and outreach, which was another program. And that's basically just kind of getting the women to go out and just be advocate for themselves. And then we also have new moms visit. And that basically is what happens is a lot of these women come together. And when we have a new mom in the group, we try to help them as much as we can. And that was one of the main big reasons and issues that arise was like, I'm new mom, I'm fresh from Africa. I don't know a lot of things that are going on here, be it like women's health or any other thing. It touched upon all these programs that we were doing, and it all came to that. And then we go and visit that new mom, be it at the hospital or even give her a prenatal education before while she's pregnant, and then after, and go visit and just kind of be there for her throughout the entire pregnancy and after she had her baby. Just having that village we had back home in Africa, just kind of getting together.
Yeah, it's how Khadija mentioned. We continue with those programs is that we bring parent educators to come in the office as well and have classes for them to ask questions, because how we were raised in Africa and how we raise our kids here is very different. So there's things that you need to learn, and you'd be wondering what's going on with my kid, and asking those questions, to have an educator just there to sit down and answer the questions that you have is amazing. Then we have the youth programs. We started having a soccer just for girls, focusing on girls. I mean, we come from a community that it's always boys do this and the girls sit down, and we all know that. So we wanted to make a change, the change that we're not changing what our culture teaches us, but we're just showing the girls that you can be yourself, you can wear your hijab, you can have fun, but knowing your limits with the religion as well. So we had soccer for girls. We just bring them outside, because exercise is something important too as well. When you start at a younger age, it becomes easier when you get older. I know for myself is that we didn't start this at a young age, so it's different when you want to make a different change for the kids.
And everything we do at Pamoja is literally run by the parents. We are always getting our feedbacks, our programs from the parents. We just give them this platform where they can tell us what to do, and we go out there and advocate for them and get these to their homes.
It sounds like you guys are fostering a sense of community reflective of back home, right there in central Rochester for the East African community there. Can you talk to me about what your experience is like as East African women in Rochester, the southwest part of the state of Minnesota, which is not really a large area?
Yeah, I think Fatima can talk to this. And the whole fact that Pamoja started was because of an experience, something that Fatima went through, and she said that this should not be happening to any other woman. And I think she can go from here with that.
I mean, when you come, here's the thing. I came to Rochester about 11 years ago from London, and you come to a place that is like, wow, I'm from a diverse place. And I came here and I was like, this is it. There's nothing here for what to do, who to visit, who do you know? And when you come from a country, I never used to drive. So it was always ask my friend or my ex-husband to just drop me somewhere. But the thing is that when you don't know places, you're lost, you're alone. Or I had to meet people through my kid when she was going to school. So because of that, it was always that we needed to have a space where, even though for now Rochester seems like a small place, but it's not for us anymore. It's a place that's growing, but to have an environment where someone comes in and feels that they're not lost, because that's the biggest thing. I spoke the language and I still felt I was lost here. So we needed to have a space to show them that welcome to Rochester. It's not as big as the cities or anything, but it is a place where you can grow for yourself if you want to.
Yeah, just that sense of belonging and sense of community. And it's not just sticking with only one part of East Africa, not just like focusing on the Somali community. We serve Sudanese, we serve Ethiopian, we serve a lot of the communities here in Rochester, because we started Pamoja almost 3 years ago now. It's unbelievable. Or is it 4? I always keep putting us like lower numbers because I just think that we just started yesterday. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we're expanding like really, really good and really well, that just shows us that whatever we're doing is working. And a lot of the times when the women come to us or the families come to us is that they ask for, you know what, especially the ones that are like just came from Africa. They ask us like, we don't know the foods, we don't know what to eat, what not to eat, can you help us? So it's like us going through this on our own. I came to North America when I was 5 years old. So I'm not going to say that I'm having the issues as these women are having right now. But my mom can tell us that, oh, I've had every single little thing that these women are coming to you guys for. You might not remember it, but I've been through that. I've been through where sometimes I would just feed you guys butter and bread because I just didn't know the food, or I didn't know what I should buy or not. So from that on, from the women just coming to us and letting us know that even food insecurity, we started a food pantry, a culturally specific food pantry in our site, so they can come in and get the food for free. And we even educate them on, this is how it is, this is healthy, this is non-healthy stuff. So little things like that grows into bigger and bigger programs.
Now, we've talked a little bit about the mission of Pamoja Women, but I want to be specific when I talk about this. Where did the belief to liberate and empower girls come from? That's strong messaging for, I feel like, any community, but also to be in an area where you guys are, where it's not reflective of women that look like you and I.
So that, I mean, you get a backlash for saying liberating and empowering, because some people would come and say that what is there to empower and liberate? People are just the same. But the thing is that statement itself tells you that you usually see us, but you never hear from us. So the change happens that, guess what? This is us now. If we're given a space, because I always tell everyone, we might be small as an organization, but we are mighty because we come and show the women that the power that you have inside, take it up, believe in yourself. Your mindset tells you you can do something. So there you go. We were stay-home moms. We decided to come outside and open an organization to show them that this is us. We wear hijab proudly to show that you don't need to take off your hijab to become known, or you don't need to take off your hijab to be in an environment. Your hijab identifies you as a Muslim lady. And for me, the proud thing of wearing this is to show the young girls and the moms at home is that whatever age you are, it's just your mind to tell you you can do something.
I think that's powerful messaging. Khadija, is there something that you wanted to say?
I think about the empowering part. It's that, we talked about how we're from a community that is male dominated. I mean, back home in Africa, like way before the war happened and everything, women were also in business. They did a lot. Coming here, a lot of the women took a backhand on this. Like they just said, okay, my husband said, I have to stay home with the kid and, raise the kids. And he's out there making the money and then bringing it home. And then basically just like a lot of the women that came to us were like, okay, we don't earn anything. We feel like we came from Africa, we came here, we want to get educated, we want to start working, but at the same time in our own communities we don't feel that. We feel as if like, if my husband says I have to stay at home, I have to don't go to my neighbors, don't make any friends. Only he will come pick me up, take me to places. Like a lot of the women started sharing that with us. And the whole empowerment just came from like, what do you want to do? We don't want to take people out of their homes, women out of their homes and say, oh, we're here to liberate you and empower you. No, she needs to empower herself. So what we do is we give her the resources, meaning like, what do you want to do? I want to learn how to speak English. Okay, here's the resource. There's things that you can do virtually. If you are not computer literate, then we can get one of the other Somali women who can speak English and Somali or any language that you speak will come to your home and teach you the language. So education itself started empowering them one by one. And then next thing, is someone telling us, what? For 16 years, I've been at home. I've been doing this. Finally, I think that I can go to a regular school, get my GED and do things. Those kind of stories is what makes us strong and what keeps us going.
I think that really speaks to the power of women and to the power of community, that you both said that you were in your homes doing your things and decided to come out and not only empower younger women, but also give the elders a boost of confidence and let them know that the culture and traditional practice is still relevant and is still honorable and important in today's culture.
Yeah, we like I said earlier, I came here when I was 5 years old to North America. I started in Canada, actually, from a refugee camp. But the thing with that is my mom always taught us that, even back home in refugee camp, she used to work for the UNHCR, help out. She learned how to speak English, help her community. It's like from a nonprofit and starting a nonprofit again. When Fatima came to me and said, hey, do you want to do a nonprofit together? It was no brainer. I mean, it was a little bit disappointment because I went to school for nursing and then I got my public health degree. I got my bachelor's. And then I was working in the community and I felt empowered and liberated, of course. But then at the same time, it's like I felt, I can take that time off from work and say, what, to my husband, I want to focus on raising our children and having children. So I stopped working and just started having my children. And from my community, seeing that this girl is educated, but she took a pause and said, I want to have babies now and I want to raise my children. That itself also said that they felt that they had something in common with us. They said the fact that we could do that and like not just work, but stay home and do that because of the culture that our parents taught us. They said that you can be anything you want. So we wanted also to let everyone know that, yes, you can be anything you want, but still hold very close to your culture.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment. Now let's talk services and points of opportunity with Pamoja Women. I was looking on the website and you guys have such a large, vast majority of programming for not only women, but families and services throughout the community. You guys have things from women's health, transportation, and interpretation, sister circle, education and outreach, new mom visits, minority PTA. So many things on this list are so relevant day to day for women and men and moms in the community. You have your children, you need somebody's support with you, whether it's through transporting you and your kids to school or it's helping with the language barrier. Can you talk about some of those services that you guys offer to the community?
I mean, we've mentioned about the sister circle, the mom's visit, but with the transportation is that not so many women drive, unless the ones who are new to the country. We don't even mention the women, the family just in general. When they're new to a country, they need to be taken from point A to point B. And if you don't know anyone, when you come here, for example, with a refugee, is that you're given 90 days. After 90 days, it's like you're on your own. We've given you, you're welcome to the country, now sort yourself out. But the thing is, we always tell everyone is that we'll be there with you until you feel that you're ready to do anything on your own. So we assist them if it's medical, to take them for their appointments at the hospital, whether school, shopping, or anything that they need. We just volunteer ourselves to them.
Yeah, and then another thing that we do, it's the cultural awareness and liaison services. This is something that anytime you're in a different country, you have to make sure that your culture always stays with you. Sometimes as young kids, we grow up here, we forget a lot about that. So we believe that knowledge and awareness and acceptance of others' cultures is very, very important to Pamoja. So that's what we do. And we try to have at least cultural days where we have Somali, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Kenya, all of these culturals to come together and get their food, their clothing, have these women entrepreneurs who sell from their home come out there. And that's what we basically focus on. And then not just in our community, but the mainstream community. What we do is we have a program, or in the summertime, we call it cross-cultural cooking, where we basically go to the high schools here in Rochester and teach the either like freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or or seniors, how to cook different food or prepare, but not just the cooking part. Get it integrated to the class that they're taking at that time. If it's math, make it fun for them and let them learn their math, but at the same time, a different culture. Come in and cook a different dish that they can learn. So within that itself, it shows our kids that are from the same culture and those mainstream cultures that, this is something that we're here to do, and not hide our culture, but celebrate it.
It's all about the inclusivity. That's what it is.
I think that's a powerful message for adolescents to learn, but also adults to be reminded of consistently, that the world is better if we're all together and that we're respecting each other's religions and cultural practice. And nothing's better than breaking bread together. It always, I feel like, takes the wall down just a little bit for us to begin to have conversation.
I think it's all cultures. All cultures do that. Food is a language that anyone can sit down and be like, oh, what is that? What spices do you use? Then you just open up a conversation and just talk.
It's true. It's the great unifier.
Yeah.
You guys spoke about being the two co-founders and how you all are supported by the parents, but Pamoja Women is literally run by all volunteers. Is this correct?
Yes. We are
the head
organization that is run by volunteers for now. I hope to change that, with getting bigger and having more funders just look and give us the grants and have these contracts where we can hire these amazing volunteers. So we have 21 volunteers, and then there's 2 of us. And that's amazing. And each one of those volunteers are like seniors in college or freshmen in college, high schoolers, moms in the community, some dads who help out with the soccer coaching. It's a lot of mixture of people who are dedicated, that when we need them, they're there to pick up that call.
I think that's a beautiful way to witness community in action, that you all are lending yourselves to this work and to this mission to go beyond yourselves. Hopefully one day somebody that's a part of the program will be taking it over and continuing to empower and liberate women moving forward.
For sure. I mean, Pamoja always came, like how Khadija mentioned, is that she has a bachelor's degree and everything. But I was a stay-at-home mom. I got married at an early age, stayed at home, but now decided to go back to school now at my age. But to show the women is that, guess what? Life doesn't stop just because we hit a certain age or we've had our kids and stayed at home. Pamoja is a place to show you that no excuses, but our mindset can make us grow far as we want.
Yeah, and a lot of the times we get this by saying, well, you know, Fatima, Khadija, you did not go through what I went through. And then I'm like, which part? Which part do you want to talk about? Like, do you want to talk about, like, and then we mentioned so many of them. They're like, you ladies went through this? And I'm like, yeah, as a matter of fact, one of us is going through right now. Like, you know, all these hardships that you're talking about, we're going through it. But look at what we're doing about it. We're still out here to help our community. We're here waking up every day, coming to the office, open that office for you guys, be it just like a small application that somebody got from the county here of saying like, oh, you're not eligible for this healthcare, or you can't, you know, have SNAP anymore because of you did not turn in certain things. We go out there and say, okay, this is what's missing. This is what we need to complete. By end of day, we'll get all the paperwork submitted. And we do that for the women.
I think that is so important. Now, can we talk a little bit about some of the events you guys have hosted in the community? You guys have talked about soccer, you've talked about the mom visits, different things like that. But can you talk about some of the larger events that you host for the community?
The biggest one we did was in August this summer. Though it was our first cultural event happening in downtown. It was a cultural event that all the women just came on, different cultures, different backgrounds, fashion shows, sell your food, clothes, different type of events. We have it on Instagram. There's just a reel as well. You can check on that too. But that was one of the biggest events we did.
Yeah, it was an East African event. We had a couple of East African heritage cultures there. We had Ethiopia, we have Sudan, we had Somalia, we had there was a lot of people that we had there. But yes, that was our first annual East African Cultural Day here at Peace Plaza in downtown Rochester, which never happened before. So that was an amazing thing. And the fact that, you know, there was women entrepreneurs, people who were selling from their home, people who could cook, but did not have the right license to do it. So leading up to the event, what we did was we reached out to the county and we said, how can we get these women to sell their food that day on our event? And it was like, okay, here's the list, here's the checklist. You need licensing, you need that. We provided that to them. We brought the person who would do the license for them and the training in our site, trained half of the women that were selling food that day and got them their what was it called, Fatima?
The cottage license.
The cottage license.
That's real.
And the thing is with that was that, sorry, yes, it was. The beauty was that is that when you were selling the food, people would pass, you can smell the dorowa, the injera, everything is different. That when you pass in, you can smell it and you're like, oh, this sounds interesting. So the aroma just invited everyone in there too.
Yeah, it's like it happens. A lot of the times, like we have a vast, like huge cultures here in Rochester, but a lot of the times we have they had their cultural events in the high schools, in like small setting or within the community itself. But to come out and do it where downtown is and just have this huge opportunity where it was free to the public and for them to just sit and enjoy this fashion show, enjoy these amazing, beautiful dancing. It was just incredible. And the feedback, as usual, it's like the culture was not even over when people were already saying, okay, so is this happening again next year? And how can we support it?
I think that's a beautiful transition to talk about you guys' website, but also any social media handles that you guys have. I'm sure someone is going to watch this and want to ask the big question, how do we connect with Pamoja Women?
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We have the website, but I believe we are more active on the social media is more on the Instagram and Facebook. You get to know all the programs that we have, what we're doing. We post it every time on that.
Yeah, people in Rochester can always go, like, some people don't have, like, they don't like social media general, so they won't have Instagram or Facebook. There's also, like, if you know how to use the internet, pamojawomen.org is our website, and you can go through there, and then there's a place that says contact us, which you can just send us a quick message, leave your number there, and we'll give you a call right away.
We have a WhatsApp group as well. We have everyone and everyone knows WhatsApp, so it's easier for us with the community. So we have a WhatsApp group as well that we use.
Yep, we add a lot. That group is very packed group. But the good thing about it is anytime there's an opportunity that the community needs to know, we post it on there, and we do it in multiple languages. We do in Amharic, we do in English, we do in Somali, we do in Arabic, we do in Swahili. So we post all that, and then we speak each one. Each of our volunteers speaks different language. So for people who cannot read, can just hear the voice message there, and we'll speak all these different languages there, and just let them know that today there's this going on at the site, at Pamoja site. Please come. Either if we're giving out food pantry, like food, we have a couple of days that we say that we're going to be giving out like culturally specific food, like halal lamb or goat meat. So we just go out there and say today from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. we have lamb or goat meat or just veggies. Please come down to the office, and you'll and just come get your food, and things like that. Within seconds, we have cars lined up.
I think that works better than I guess a light that would reflect to tell people to come. You said that's immediate response. Cars are lining up.
WhatsApp is less than 5 minutes.
Then the fact that you can forward that message, there have been people that were not even in the group that came, and I'm like, oh, okay, so we have our paperwork, so where did you hear from, like, and she's like, oh, I gotta forward. So the culture and the community of word of mouth is just amazing, and we love the fact that our community is like that. So that with Pamoja, our strength is that.
I think that's absolutely beautiful. Now, while I have you both still here, we're just going to pivot a little bit about COVID. Numbers are still on the rise, and it's still affecting our community in a very pivotal way. Can you speak to how you guys at Pamoja Women have been trying to keep information coming out or trying to keep the community as safe as possible?
Yes, go ahead.
It's always you have to we follow with what the news say. That's the first thing, because it has the regulations and all that stuff. I know now it's not mandatory to wear mask anymore, but the thing is that keep safe. If you're sick, stay at home. Don't just go outside of knowing that you're going to spread with the COVID that you have, or you might not have, or you don't even know you have it yet. The thing is, if you're sick, stay at home just to protect. Not only you protecting yourself, but you're protecting everyone else around you.
Yeah, and we try a lot of the time to do the education and outreach on COVID. It has never stopped. It's like every single time, be it people coming to the office, just the way we handle things, how we still have masks available to those who are elderly who need it, even if you are, like Fatma said, if you have a small cough. And another thing that we do here in the community is like, we tend to have huge weddings in the Somali community, the African community. And what we do is like, we try to let the people know that, hey, I know that this is COVID free. You think it's COVID is gone, but COVID's not there. But please just make sure that, you keep telling people that if you're sick, stay home when you're inviting people to the wedding. And we go into a lot of things, and people actually give us a call back and say, you know what, I don't know if I have something, but do you have those COVID tests? And we have them available at the office where they can just come drive by. They don't have to let us know anything. And we just hand out to them and give that to them and just go. And then if they need help getting more access of COVID tests, we just send them to the right organizations that can give them more if we don't have any more.
Knowledge is power. I think that's brilliant of you guys to continue the conversation so that we don't start to become more lax in our cleanly practice or in the belief that we won't be infecting those that we love and are in community with.
It was hard. It was hard when COVID started. It was so hard to convince the community for the vaccine. That was huge. We were part of a project called Project Healing, which was all about. We did PSAs. We recorded it in Somali, in all the languages that we had, just to tell people what COVID was, and that, you know, with us having a word of mouth culture of like, if I tell Fatima COVID does not exist, Fatma's going to believe me because she's my friend and she trusts me. So then Fatma's going to go spread that. We tried as much as we could to stop that, spreading that type of news, and say that like the entire time COVID was there, I never got COVID. But all the people around me, my entire family got COVID at one time. I have 4 kids, my husband. All 5 of them got COVID except for me. And the whole entire time telling people is like, okay, so let's just keep doing that. I know that you can't say it's not going to happen to me, but let's keep getting the education and outreach out there. And just like explaining to them what the vaccines have, just the education about that. Because people will come and say, no, you know, it's not good for me because I'm Muslim and it's haram. The vaccine has certain pork products in there. Just kind of reading all these things. We had to do so much homework when vaccine came out, just to educate the community and, like, you know, and tell them. And then they would tell you that, okay, no, you're gonna take me to the hospital. I'm gonna get vaccinated, and then what happens to me if I still die? I'm like, well, it's up to God that, you know, whatever happens. But the fact that you're giving me that permission to escort you and transport you. I'm here. I have this transportation. Come, let me take you to the right places. If you don't feel comfortable, stay home. I understand that, and we can supply you with whatever things that you need. But please don't come out and spread anything. That itself was huge, and it still continues, by the way, till now.
I think that's very important messaging, especially as we progress further into the year with the holiday season coming around, us coming together more and more because of students, you know, having proms and homecomings and dances and things like that in the community that are inviting them to be around each other more and more in larger groups. We're doing our best to try to navigate safe practices as often as we can. Thank you both for joining me today on Community Connections and talking to me about the work of Pamoja Women. I enjoyed hearing about you guys' wonderful work, but also the work and the empowerment of building your community.
Thank you for having us.
I know, we're so glad.
You guys should come to Rochester too. It's not small as how you guys think.
You're right. Yeah. It is let me put some just due on Rochester. It is the 3rd largest city outside of the Twin Cities. I mean,
if you're used to the cities and how big it is, you come here and you're like, this is it? And I'm like, but it's nice. It's a good place to raise your family, so.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll head out there. OROMIA11, we've been put on notice.
Yes, please come here, and we're inviting you guys to our 2nd annual cultural day right now, which is gonna happen next summer. But just so you know that we're giving you the invitation right now.
Thank you so much. Keep us in the loop.
We will. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too as well.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today's episode of Community Connections. Please be sure to check out the work of Pamoja Women on their social media handles and/or their website. They're doing some really amazing work, and I'm sure someone in your community will benefit from connecting with the work of Pamoja Women. As always, I am Anna Orr, and this is Community Connections airing on OROMIA11. I look forward to connecting again with you soon.